Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday and it's time for a review show special. Now this is where I take a deep dive into a particular company, a particular creator, a particular product, and I kind of talk about one specific subject and go into more detail than the Wednesday review show. And today I'm going to go and talk about this bad boy, which is Wayne Dobson's Legacy book set by Wayne Dobson with Bob Gill. Now, this got released earlier this year, just before the session, and I picked it up immediately. Why did I pick it up immediately? Because I'm a huge fan of Wayne Dobson. And it's took me until now to do the review because I've been reading them. That's the problem. People say to me, why don't you do book reviews every single week? And the reason is I ain't got that such time. Just 3 books here. It took a very long time to kind of assimilate the information to a point that I can actually speak knowledgeably about it and know what I'm talking about. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about Wayne Dobson. So, for those of you that don't know who Wayne Dobson is a legend in the Magic community, and I am not using those words lightly. He is an absolute legend. Now, Wayne Dobson burst onto the scene, worked his way up through working men's clubs in the North and got a big break on television doing the Royal Variety Show. And he did the Royal Variety Show and absolutely killed it by doing a 5-card repeat and then a sponge ball routine. And that just shows you the balls of steel that Wayne Dobson had. He got his big break going on the Royal Variety Show, live to the nation, had celebrities up on stage and helping him, and he did 2 tricks that have been around from the beginning of time. But he knew what he was doing. When he presented those tricks, he did it in a way that nobody had ever seen before, because what Wayne has that very few people have is that it factor, that X factor. He was one of the finest comedy magicians of all time and still is an incredible comedy magician. And one of the reasons he was so good as a comedy magician is he was just so quick-witted. He was just very, very funny. And the magic, although strong, was never the focus point. The focus point was the entertainment and entertaining people, which was just absolutely incredible. Now, off the back of the Royal Variety Show, Wayne got a big break and ended up doing his own TV show on ITV, My Kind of Magic. And it ran for a few seasons and was really in competition at the time with Paul Daniels, and had a younger, a hipper kind of way about it. And on those, he showed his chops as a stage performer. He was performing illusions. He was performing close-up. He was performing absolutely everything. Continued to work at a very high level, continued to work Las Vegas and places like that. Had a career that most people could only dream of. But in the background, he was also battling a terrible disease, MS, and unfortunately eventually got to the point where he had to retire from performing on a regular basis. And as his body kind of shut down, his mind was just as active as ever before. He realized that he could channel his creativity not into performing, but into creating magic, and he set up Netrix. And over the years, Netrix and Wayne Dobson, along with his right-hand man, Mike Sullivan, have created and released some of the most practical and commercial tricks, books, effects, and products that are used by magicians all over the world. And he is beloved and continues to operate at an incredibly high level. And one of the highlights of this whole channel is when I got to interview Wayne Dobson all those years ago. About 2 years ago, I actually interviewed Wayne, and it was amazing. Which brings us to these books' legacy. Now, Wayne's written books before, but Vanishing Ink got involved and wanted to write a set of books that's basically Wayne's legacy. And that's what we have here. And this is going to be kind of an interesting review. I'm not really going to be performing magic on here. I just want to tell people, like right off the bat, I'm going to tell people these are some of the most important books that you will ever buy. And to buy them immediately, I can't believe that Vanishing Ink did them so cheaply. They are very, very, very well priced. The first thing that I would say is buy them. Whatever happens, buy them. If you're an amateur, The tricks that you can learn in this and the stories that you will get are just absolutely amazing. It's an enjoyable book. Very few magic books are enjoyable. Most of the time we read a magic book because we want to learn someone's material. We want to learn how a particular trick's done. We want to add magic to our repertoire. With this is an incredibly interesting book and just absolutely fascinating because it is more than just tricks. It's more than just tricks. So if you're an amateur, buy it. It's incredible. If you're a professional, buy it because it's inspirational seeing how Wayne got to the level that he did, bearing in mind that most magicians around the world, if they had even half of the success that Wayne had even 20 years ago, they would consider their life to be amazing. Like, it's just unbelievable what this man's achieved. Anybody in magic should be buying these books. It's as simple as that. There's absolutely no way around it. Just no way around it at all. So the first book, the forward is by Andy Gladwin and Joshua J, who run Vanishing Ink, obviously. And the first book is all about basically his story. And it's almost autobiographical in nature. It's full of really interesting pictures that illustrate what he's talking about at that particular time. I can't believe all of the stuff that's in here. He's literally gone through and talked about absolutely everything and then some. He's held nothing back. I'm just reading here, page 145, the rule box. In September 1989, I got an urgent call from Tony to go to his house. He had something very important to tell me. And this is kind of really interesting. He sat me down, had a very serious look in his face as I waited to hear what he had to say. At the back of my mind, I'd wondered whether somehow he'd got wind of my MS diagnosis when he floored me completely. I've got you a spot on television on the Royal Variety Show. And I didn't even realise that he'd had a positive diagnosis of MS before he even did his first TV spot. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating what this man has achieved and what he must have been living with, knowing that he's got this disease which is slowly eating away at his body, and yet he's still able to achieve everything he's been able to achieve. Absolutely incredible. So the first book is all about his career. It's what he's done. It's everything that he's achieved. It is so inspirational. It's so motivational. It's amazing. I read it cover to cover. Couldn't put it down. Ryland's now reading it. It is brilliant. So that's the first book, right? Okay, first book. It's his life. The second book... So the first one is my story. The second book is live on TV. And what's interesting here is it basically goes through a bunch of the stuff that he did on television. And again, it's very, very interesting. It continues along his story. And it continues to talk about what he's done. But then, after that, it goes into various different routines that he's done on television. So he talks about the 5-card repeat, which he does on the Royal Variety Show. And he talks about, but he breaks everything down like only a pro can. So he talks about the cards. He talks about how to prepare the cards. He talks about the microphone to use, the lighting, what music should use, the opening monologue, how to actually perform the routine. This is way beyond how to do a trick. Like most magic books, it's like, here's a trick. This is how you do it. This is how you do this move. Let's move on. And he's got that. I'm reading here how to do a buckle count, which is brilliant. And how to throw the cards away and how to do the finish. But he's covering absolutely everything. He's even showing you a diagram here of how to throw the cards in the air. Like, this is the sort of advice that you could only get from a seasoned pro that's been doing this for a very, very long time. So in this book, he talks about a bunch of different stuff. A lot of the things that you saw him do in his a lot of the stuff that you saw him do on the TV. He's got scripting, he's got everything. Interestingly, he's also got one of my favorite tricks on here, which you can't which a lot of people don't know, called He Who Spelt It. Dealt It. It's by Dave Williamson. And he says here, this is a favourite routine of Dave Williamson's and typical of his approach when working with kids and getting one over on him. David gave it to Wayne years ago and he used it several times on TV chat shows for which it's perfectly well suited. And he describes it in here. And it's amazing. He Who Spelt It Dealt It is an amazing trick. In fact, I'd said that this wasn't about performing the magic in here. Just this one trick is worth the price of the books as far as I'm concerned. I have done this for so many years. If I've got a pack of cards and there's kids, there's a very good chance I'm going to do He Who Spelt It Dealt It. Let's just look at a performance of this routine right now.
Yeah? Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll just give them a shuffle. What's your favourite suit? Because I'll tell you what mine is in a minute. What's your favourite suit?
Spades.
Really? Mine's hearts. Interesting. I don't really care about you. It's not,
Charming.
it's not you that's doing the trick, it's me. We're going to take the hearts out. Have you ever heard about casting a magic spell?
On what?
You know, just like a magic spell. You've heard about magic spells, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, in like fairy tales and Disney movies and stuff.
Well, we're going to do a different type of magic spell.
Okay.
I'm just going to take out the cards. Shuffle the deck. We're going to take out the cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the hearts. No court cards. They're just going from 1 to 10, right? Yeah?
Okay.
Now, watch this. If I do this, I've casted a magic spell over these cards. Now, believe it or not, even though we just took them out in a random order from when we shuffled, believe it or not, you can spell to every single card now in order. I'll show you. I'll even let you have a go. Look, ace. We'll start with ace. You just go A, S, E. And that's 7.
You spelled it wrong.
Did I?
A-C-E.
Oh, hang on. You try. I'm not very good at spelling. You do that. 1 card to the bottom for each letter. So what is it? A, C,
C,
E.
E.
Turn over the top card. Oh, you see, you're so much better than me. Do it again. So 2, do 2.
T, W, O.
Has it worked? You're so good at this. You see, you're much better than me. Do 3. Do 3.
T, H, R, E.
You see, I would have got that wrong. I didn't realise the H was in there. Turn it over. What you got? Okay, I'm getting it now. Right, okay, so 4. Here we go. It's F, O, R, E, and you get a 7 again. Did I do wrong?
It's U-R.
You do it. Sorry, you do it. What is it? It's F, O, U, R. Turn it over. Oh, right. It's so bad.
He runs our company.
Do 5. Do 5.
F, I, V, E.
Right, I've got it now. 6. I've got it now. S, E, X.
Whoa.
I did that right.
No, what? No.
Show me.
S, I, X.
Well, let's be honest. I can't get 7. I can't get 7 wrong. It's impossible. Look, S, E, V, E, N. 7. You see, I know I can get 7 right. You do 8.
E, I, G, H, T.
Turn over. You're so good at this. Do 9.
N, I, N, E.
I can't mess up 10. Watch. T, E. No, hang on. T, I, N. Oh, for God's sake, this is getting ridiculous. Just forget it. You know. What the hell? You can do it from now on. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm done.
10. T, E, N.
What the fuck?
That's crazy.
You know what? Forget it. We'll do something.
Okay, so that was He Who Spelt It Dealt It. Wonderful routine. I'm just looking through some of the stuff that he's got in here. He's got his invisible deck handling, which doesn't actually use the traditional invisible deck. It uses a purse, an invisible purse, and he produces the card from the invisible purse. He talks about a couple of methods to do that, including the cheekiest and most direct method to do this routine that you've ever seen, that he completely fooled me with, and it'll fool any magician that you show them to. He's got his Tossed Out Deck Pro, so he's got his version of Tossed Out Deck. Somebody was asking me earlier on about Tossed Out Deck. I just filmed the Q&A for this week, and a lot of people are asking me. There was a question about the Tossed Out Deck. And he actually describes here how to make his own tossed out deck, which is amazing. He teaches you how to make it. He goes through exactly what you need to do, how to prepare each card, how to do it, how to handle it. He describes everything. Brilliant. Then he goes into the stage illusions that he performed while he was on stage. He goes into a whole bunch of them. Let's go to here, as you can see. He describes Ashra. He describes... You've got lovely photos of him performing these on stage. Ashra is just an amazing illusion. As an illusionist, I found this really interesting. If you've got any interest in illusions, this is something that you might want to look at. And then at the back of the book, he's got a bunch of the close-up magic that he did on TV as well. His coins to glass, by the way, is one of the best coins to glass that you'll ever see. And you can learn that directly from here. It's incredible. So, book 2 is about the magic that he did on TV. And then number 3, he calls New and Improved Creations. Now, he has published a lot of magic over the years. He has published more magic than most magicians will ever publish, and then some. Oh, look, he's got a forward from Derren Brown. I mean, come on. Yeah, when you've got a forward from Derren Brown, that tells you everything that you need to know, right? So what you have in book 3 is... let me read you something. There you go. This, so he says here, this is only a fraction of the material Bob and I went through to sift it down to what I consider my best new stuff. I'm proud of it, and I hope you get as much enjoyment studying it and maybe using some of it as I had at dreaming it up. Let your hands be mine. Lots of love and thanks, Wayne Dobson. And so what he's got here is he's got a whole bunch of his newest material. So he's got it broken down into stand-up creations and close-up creations. And stand-up creations, you know, if you are a stand-up performer, a stage performer, and you want to learn some of his amazing stage material, which he's very well known for, you can do. He's actually got in here, which I believe is on page 51, he's actually got in here Echo. And Echo is one of his most well-known routines from when he performed on television. Excuse me. This Echo bears on its slender shoulders perhaps the heaviest burden in this entire collection, to somehow reach into the dizzying heights of a valid successor to Wayne's world-famous signature voices routine. Echo is a comedy routine that has served Wayne extremely well for many years. Since its first appearance in his early lectures in the 2000s, he's used it on TV, in cabaret, in theatres around the globe, and at magic conventions galore. It was a feature of his extensive corporate work, where he'd use the CEO as his on-stage assistant, or at private VIP parties where he'd use the host that everybody knew. It is played equally strong for audiences of 25 and theatres of 3,000 plus. Crucially, as Wayne's condition deteriorated to the point where he felt unable to do justice to voices, Echo took over as his signature comic routine with a participant on stage. It's incredible. I've done Echo for years, and everything that he says is true. And it is worth the price of these books and then some. If you are wanting to be, you know, we've talked about close-up magicians in the past on this channel. Close-up magicians that want to transition into doing stage work. And I've said in the past, one of the best ways to do that is to have an upsell. You get an inquiry for a close-up gig and you say, hey, would you like me to do a 15-minute spot at the end? I'll throw it in for you for an extra X amount, or I'll even throw it in for free. Gives you a chance to practice that material. And what you want to do is you want to take stuff that will literally pack down and play big. Echo can run for 6 or 7 minutes, and it is an incredible routine. It breaks down exactly how to make Echo, exactly how to do it. He goes through the presentation. I love the fact he literally breaks down each step. He does a step-by-step thing. He's even got diagrams of where you should be sitting and when the participant should be sitting. And then he's got the entire script. You are literally handed everything that you need to perform one of the best comedy tricks in the world. And this is just one small section of what is written in this book, and just that in its own is worth the price and then some. I could spend hours performing and going through these routines, but I don't want to, because I don't want to ruin what you're going to get from actually watching and learning these routines yourself. These routines are brilliant. These routines are absolutely awesome. This is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite books. This is my favorite book out of the three, just because I didn't know all of these routines. Some of them I knew, but not all of them I knew. And every single time I pick it up, I see something different. I see something even more unique. He's got the fuck trick in there. That's just an amazing trick. Anyway, I'm not going to say anything else. All three of these books are exceptional. And I'm going to make a bold statement right now. Very bold statement. Vanishing Ink have released lots of books over their lifetime. Some of them I absolutely love. Rune Klam, one of my favourite magicians of all time. They published his book. One of my favourite magic books of all time, or my favourite two magic books, are Troy Hooser's Moments and Destroyers, both published by Vanishing Ink. The Jay Sankey books that came out recently, the Definitive Sankey, I think they are amazing. I think that Vanishing Ink do incredibly well when it comes to books, and I think that's a big part of that is Andy Gladwin and Joshua Jay, who are just so motivated to put out the best books of magic ever. These are the best books that Vanishing Ink have ever put out. And honestly, if you are a magician or you have a passing interest in magic, you absolutely have to have these in your collection. And this is something you're going to read, you're going to reread, you're going to reread again. Yeah, you're going to get material out of there, very possibly. But even if you don't get material out of there, the whole way that the books are put together, it's inspiring, it's motivating, it's incredible. And it really is what Wayne wanted it to be. It's his legacy. In years gone by, when I'm gone, people will still remember Wayne Dobson, and these books will still allow people to know who Wayne really is. I mean, I can't give a grade to these. They're priceless. They're 100%. They're the biggest mark you could get. They're infinity. They're infinity plus one. It is a ridiculously good book. And if you haven't got these books and you're a magician, you really need to get them. They're fantastic. So there you go. That's this week's review show special. I can't say anything else about this. Over the coming weeks and months, maybe I'll perform some of the material on Magic Lives. But this review isn't about performing the material. Review isn't really about saying, look, this is this trick, this is this trick, this is this trick. This review is all about saying to you that these books are incredible and they belong in your bookshelf. They really do. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. If you haven't checked the Q&A out from earlier on today, please do so. It went up at 12 o'clock today. There's some great questions this week. Also, don't forget that a Magic Live went up today. You can go check that out. And also go check out the Netrix, www.thenetrix.com. We've just added a pool ball section onto the Netrix because we're adding a bunch of routines with pool balls as well, because that's what people want. We keep adding and improving, and we keep adding to the Netrix, and we will continue to do so. Anyway, I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.